In class 11, business studies, we are on chapter number 8, business finance. In business finance, we already discussed the different categories of business finance, like on the basis of duration, on the basis of ownership, and on the basis of generation. On the basis of duration, three are there: short term, medium term, long term. On the basis of ownership, those two sources are there. Though I have already explained them also. That is own fund and borrowed fund. And on the basis of generation, internal and external sources are there. And in that class, I already explained you various types of sources like trade credits, then yesterday retained earnings, trade credits, factoring. Now today we are going to do the lease financing. And my dear children, lease financing, please note down, then you will be able to understand. This is lease financing. And in the lease financing, see, nowadays it has been treated as an important source of long-term finance. For long-term, as on the duration basis, we have three sources of finance: short-term, medium-term, and long-term. So lease financing is an important source of long-term finance. It is an arrangement under which a company acquires the right to use an asset without holding its title. Okay, see children, lease financing means we can get the finance sources for long time period, under which a company acquires the right to use an asset, but without holding its title of ownership. See children, this is the right to use an asset that is known as lease. And lease financing is a source of finance because you are using an asset of someone else for your purpose, and this is without holding its title, but this is long term. Owner of the asset is called lessor and the user is known as lease. See, the owner who is giving the asset on lease is known as lessor, and the person who is taking that asset is known as lease. Got it? See, okay, I will tell you how to mark. See, this is lessor, this is lease. One more thing I want to tell you. See, learn that word, lessor and lease. Owner of the asset, who has right to give asset on lease, is known as lessor. And the person who is taking the asset on lease is known as leasee. And the leasee has to pay some amount because he is using the asset, so he has to pay some amount. This amount is known as lease rent. What that will known as lease rent, and it is given to the lessor. Why it is given? For using of asset. And at the end of the lease agreement, the asset reverts to the lessor, who is the legal owner of the asset, and sure you must be able to understand. Okay, I will give you an example. Like Mr. A. Mr. A established a girls' hostel. Mr. A established a girls' hostel. Okay, and because he is unable to maintain it, to operate it, so he will give this to Mr. B on lease. Okay, here Mr. A is the owner. Owner is known as lessor, and he is the user, and user is known as leasing. Okay, shall I explain it again? Okay, Mr. A established a girls' hostel with his own money, or maybe he invested along with her. He is the owner of that girls' hostel. He is owner, that's why he is known as lessor. And he has given this to me for use. He is known as leasing. Okay. So the amount which he has to pay in generally, that is known as landlord and that is known as tenant. Yes. And the amount which we are using paying is known as rent. But that is for living condition. But here that the thing you will use that asset, so that amount is known as lease rent, and at the end, when the lease agreement will be over, the asset will be automatically transferred to the legal owner, Mr. A. Mr. A is the owner, Mr. B is the user, owner is known as lessor, user is known as leasee, yes, and he has to pay lease rent. At the end, when the lease agreement is over, at the end of the agreement, the asset will be transferred to the lessor, who is known as the legal owner. Okay. Now, what are the merits of that? See. First, merits. The merits of lease financings are many because those persons who are unable to afford that asset, they can also take on rent. Okay. So first, it enables the leasee to acquire the asset with a very little investment. No need to buy huge machinery or the. See, if I am going to construct a house, then or one contractor is there who is going to make a house on contract basis. There is no need to buy for him to buy the paint and cement mixture or the tractor. He can buy and he can take it on lease. Okay, with a very little investment. No need to invest because you can pay the rent and you will get the facility. Limited formalities only. See, for lease financing, no need to various formalities are there like paperwork, advertisement for finance, lots of guarantee paper. That will not require. Lease rent is a charge against profit. In class 12, we will explain you what is the charge, what is the appropriation. But here I am going to explain charge against profit means compulsory to pay, like electricity charges. So compulsory to pay. So those things which are charged, tax liability is reduced because charges are deductible from tax. Tax deductible items. So tax liability is reduced. It It provides finance without sharing the ownership. See, finance facilities are available without sharing the ownership. The ownership will not be shared. Why? Because you are taking on rent, you will pay the lease, and after agreement, you will return the asset. So there is no interference of that person in your workings. Yes, the risk of obsolescence on the shoulders of the owner of the asset. If the asset becomes outdated, new model will come, new technology will be there, new asset will be there, then my dear children, there is the risk of obsolescence. See in accountancy, while explaining you chapter depreciation, in that part I explain you that obsolescence. Obsolescence means outdated. Outdated, out of date, out of fashion, out of technology, like black and white TV today, in nowadays. So many assets are there which have risk of obsolescence because new technology is coming very fast. So the obsolescence risk will not be in the on the hand or on the shoulder of the leasing because he is not the owner, he is the user. So the risk is on the owner or on the shoulder of lessor. This is the merit on the point of view of leasing. Now limitations. What are the limitations? Lessor can impose many restrictions. Like first one you can see restrictions on the use of asset. Lessor can impose restrictions that you have to do that only, you have to use that part only. Means like landlord always impose some restrictions. Same here, lessor means the owner can impose some restrictions. Then normal business operation may be affected on non-renewal of agreement. It's very easy to see. Otherwise, that topic is very difficult in few books. Normal business operations may be affected on non-renewal of agreement. It means if the lessor is not going to give you the agreement again, he is not going to give you that asset again, your business will be affected. So that may be affected on non-renewal. If the lease agreement is terminated before maturity, it results in heavy loss. See, lease agreement is terminated. Many reasons are there. Like you are not making payment on time. That is the reason. You are not working properly, you are not using that asset properly, or the leaser wants to do something else. So that may be the reason of heavy loss, or maybe the court case will be there. And leasee may not take much care on the asset as he never becomes the owner. See, generally, the user who pay the rent, who pay the lease, will not use the asset properly. In some houses, you can see where the tenants are living, they are not using the house properly. Same here, that may happen. That the leasee may not use the asset properly. Then, so at that time, this is the loss for lessor. Okay. So now we discussed lease financing. In the lease financing, we will have the two terms: lessor means owner, leasing means user. Leasing will pay the lease rent to the lessor, that is known as lease rent. And when the agreement over, when the duration over, the leasee will return that asset to the lessor. Okay. Now next is public deposits. See, public deposits, but be careful. Lease financing is for long term. As I told you now, there are three on the basis of duration, three terms there are short term, medium term, and long term. So lease financing is generally used for long term. Now public deposits. Public deposits are for medium term, in which, be careful, in which companies may invite deposits from the public. That's why it is known as public deposits. Generally, that public deposits provide higher rate of interest. Now, my question is, if they provide lower rate of interest than the commercial banks, do you think we have to invest in the companies? Yes, please. No. Why we always try to invest in public deposits? Because they provide higher rate of interest than the commercial banks. Commercial banks are giving interest as prescribed by the RBI, Reserve Bank of India. That is the fixed rate of interest. But if you want to earn more, the public deposits are the good source of investment. Clear? See, public deposits generally gives higher rate of interest. Then public is giving deposits to the companies. Generally, higher rate attracts more people. They are issued for the period up to generally for 3 years, and it is regulated by RBI. Yes. Now, SEBI is also a watching dog for that. So, public deposits are the deposits companies taken by common public, but to attract them, they provide higher rate of interest. This is medium source of finance. Now, what are the formalities? Less formalities. Less formalities means no paperwork, no charge on asset, no need to give mortgage, hypothecation, no need to give guarantee papers or guarantee something asset. That's why it is easy and beneficial for the companies. No security is given by the company. See, no security. On the starting of that chapter, I told you. Security means financial security, some guarantee paper, some mortgage, no sharing of control, no need to share the control with anyone, no charge on asset. Again, charge on asset means no one will take up your asset for covering their loan. That's why generally public attracts to the public deposits because of higher rate of interest, and companies always try to use that. Why? Because they are giving higher rate of interest and there is no need to keep anything on guarantee as guarantee. Easy way to collect the finance and easy way to return the funds. That's why it is known as flexible source of finance. Then some limitations are also there. Not easy for a new company. It is difficult for a new company to collect funds from the public deposits because public don't have faith on new companies. If I am the investor, I want to invest. Generally, I will try to invest in those companies, those who are already established. Investment in a new company is risky. More risks are there because you don't know about them, you don't know about their profitability, you don't know about their solvency position, financial position. That's why it is difficult for the new company which is new in the market. Generally, always everyone prefers to invest in already established, reputed companies. So this mode is difficult for new companies, those who are emerging, those who don't have any brand name, any recognition, any goodwill. That's then it is unreliable source, my dear. Unreliable because poor response from investors may be. See, unreliable means you cannot have complete rely on that source while launching a new product, while modernization or a forex function. It may be problematic. Limited fund. Limited funds means you cannot collect huge amount by the public deposits because the rate of interest is higher. It will become costly source of finance. So generally, public deposits are preferable by the reputed companies to collect the medium-term source, but for limited amount. Then it will be easy for them to return. It will be easy for them to give them higher rate of interest. Now, next topic today is commercial paper. Commercial paper. See, commercial papers are, I will explain you that topic in accountancy also. In class 12 also you will get that topic. Commercial paper is an unsecured promissory note issued to the public with a fixed maturity period from 90 days to 1 year. Issuing commercial paper in India as a money market instrument took place in 1989-90. Money market means for short term. It is unsecured. It is used by highly reputed companies. Okay. Commercial banks, companies, mutual funds contribute towards the kind of instrument. It is also regulated by the RBI. Now, unsecured means and promissory note means unsecured means there is no mortgage or guarantee against it. Promissory note means it is a promise by the company that they will return you money after a fixed time period, which is known as maturity. Then merits, no restrictive condition, no restrictions are there. High liquidity and freely transferable. High liquidity means easily convertible into cash. Freely transferable means easily transferable. Economical means less costly. Continuous source means you can pay them because the ranging is from 90 days to 1 year. Pay them and return that. And the company can invest excess fund. If the company gets the excess fund, they can invest it somewhere else. Take from the public and deposit somewhere else. Limitation, only sound organization can issue. See. Otherwise, public will not have faith on the new organizations. Limited funds can be raised. Impersonal financing because extension is not possible. From 1 year, more than 1 year, that is not possible for the company to issue it. So today we discuss various types of sources of funds, various sources of finance like trade credits, commercial papers, public deposits, lease financing. These are the sources of funds, and from tomorrow onwards we will start shares, another long-term source of finance.